Welcome to another Google Hangout with our Inspiring Entrepreneurs series. This morning I'm going to be talking to Liz Weston of Weston Communications. Liz is doing a lot of research into Facebook advertising, and I've been having quite a few arguments and heated conversations with people about why Facebook is changing things, whether they should change things, whether it's fair or not, whether they should continue to get free marketing, or whether they should really be being pushed towards paid-for advertising. So let's say hello to Liz first of all, and then we can get into the debate. So welcome, Liz. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm still making lots of notes. Let me take that necklace off so it doesn't rattle in the background. I apologise. Hello, I'm really pleased talking with you about this. It's funny how people seem to just think the world owes that, you owe me and my small business a favour. You should give me free this, free that forever. It's an interesting place, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think part of the criticism comes from the fact that people feel they've been lured into using Facebook for free so that Facebook can collect their details and then sell them to advertisers. Now, to me, that's no different except in scale. To me, asking people to sign up to my blog or sign up to my email newsletter and then using that list to market other things to them. I mean, I don't sell it to advertisers, obviously, but it's just a slight nuance on that, surely.
But it also surely applies to something like Google or Twitter. They're using our data as well, and they provide paid-for opportunities, and they provide free opportunities. And the change with Facebook is that Facebook is saying, if you're a business, this is what you get. Sorry, so you can see it. This is what you get when you go free, and this is what you get when you pay for it. I think that this expectation, as Facebook has grown so much and there's so much going on, you can't expect to be able to get to your market, to get to your niche without doing some sort of targeting, which has to be paid for.
That's really interesting, that, because somebody said to me the other day, did I know what the demographic of Twitter was? And I said, for a small business, why does that matter? There are millions of people on there, so there are millions of people in every demographic. So why do you need to know which is the most popular? Because you need a handful of people, you don't need millions of people. And this targeting, I think, is really, really important, isn't it? To know exactly who it is you're trying to reach and the best way to do that.
It's very interesting to me because we work with lots of different clients, from really big national, international brands as well, right down to people who run small service businesses, and there's 3 or 4 people in the business. And what intrigues me is that people say, oh, well, Facebook Insights, the equivalent of Google Analytics, Facebook Insights tells me that most people are online between 6 and 7 p.m. So why is no one engaging with me at that time? And why? And so first of all, I say, well, that's not a rigid fixed thing. And I also take insights and analytics and everything like that I use them and they're interesting and they're valuable, but I also have to use my intuition and look at the page, see what's happening, see what people are talking about and see what people are doing to get a gauge yourself and to grow your own intuition. And to be honest, the way to avoid, if you want to, paying for lots of Facebook adverts or paying for lots of other things, the way to avoid it is to produce such good content that people want to engage with it naturally anyway. And the more that people engage, it's self-perpetuating, the more likely you are to show up in Facebook's natural algorithm anyway.
So what would you describe as good content, Liz? And we all see a lot of really lame content on Facebook where people are sort of trying to market by stealth almost, and doing quite naff things. How do you describe good content? What works for your clients?
For us, good content is content that is current, that relates to something that's going on in the news. Should I stop waving my hands? I look very, sorry. For me, good content is content that is current. I'm saying you can't see me doing it. I can't stop with my hands. I'll stop now. For us, good content is content that is current, that is relevant to where someone is at their life at that point in time. It's also possibly newsworthy. You tie it into something that's going on in the media. You produce something that's in a tone and in a voice that's interesting to people, not just really, here it is, here's my wheelbarrow, I'm just going to empty it, here's my sales pitch to you. People don't want to be sold to. People are much more likely to make a purchase when they think they're in control of it and it's something they're choosing to buy. So in the same way, people want to feel that they're choosing to be part of your community, and that's why they give you their social proof of their tick or their comment or their favoriting or their like, because what they're doing is they're saying that content is good. Good content to me is a mix of things. It's like a recipe. It's like a mixing bowl. There's no one type of content that's perfect. It wants to be a mixing bowl for me of current news, things that are topical, things that you might find funny, things that are debates and questions, things that really are about showing you, and also, of course, and this is what many people forget, it wants to be something that reflects your values. And the reason why it wants to be good content is content that reflects your values, because content that reflects your values speaks to so much more about you, your customer service, your attitude to life in general, than it does just going, oh, I'm here, buy from me because I'm really good at, I'm really good at cleaning your oven. Well, you could have someone who wants to clean your oven on Facebook, or someone who wants to clean your oven and comes with a smile and says, today we look at the view, look at the sunshine on the way to work, or someone who says, what a great day we've had, we're really busy. Sorry, do you want me to draw breath?
No, one of the things that I was laughing at was when you said about values. I don't know if you saw the video I did a few weeks ago with Don Garrett, and that was kind of where our conversation started, was about sharing values. And that's why I interviewed him, and I do think you're absolutely spot on there. The thing that people forget about social media is it shows these things up so quickly, doesn't it? You can see who's arrogant, who's bigoted, who's just cynical, and who is genuinely there because they love what they do and they want to share it.
See, the problem for me, even just thinking about my own personal Twitter feed, is that I have a personal Twitter feed and we have a Weston Comms HQ Twitter feed. No one wants the Weston Comms HQ Twitter feed. They want to talk to me through my Twitter feed. So you will get a truly, and I know that we've debated this at length before, you and I, we get a really, and Laura Husson, I debate this with her, she's a Twitter queen, I write, you can have me in what space of one day showing the sunshine, oh, this is so motivational too. This is what I'm having for my lunch with a client because we're having a great lunch out, or we're doing something, right through to this is the view from the swimming pool as I watch my children do their swimming after school. I can do a real mix of things, and then in the evening I'll be retweeting Jeremy Waite on his views on what he's just been writing about on Medium. It's a real mix, and it gives people an insight into who I am as a person. And 50p, I want people to start paying me for every time I say this. If I had 50p for every time that I said this, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Great social media content on any platform is content that gives people the opportunity to get to know you, to get to like you, and to trust you. And it's that.
I just can't believe that, after all these years of businesses selling to people, that we keep having to almost ram that down people's throats. Why is it that people don't get that? I mean, it just seems so fundamental. Just before we go off too much on that, because I know it's definitely a hobby horse of mine, can we just go back to the Facebook thing? Because I know there are a lot of very small businesses there that have spent time developing a business page and getting all their friends to like it. And now they're kind of thinking, was that all a waste of time, or is there some way I can rescue it?
So the way to rescue, how annoying is that, me doing air quotes, the way to rescue your Facebook page is to sit down and to think, what is it that people will love? How can I give people the opportunity to get to know, like, and trust me? How can I show them that I am relevant to their lives? How can I show them that the work we do will make their lives easier, faster, quicker? How can we show them that we know not just about our work, about cleaning ovens, but about our kitchens and about getting ready for Christmas and being prepared and thinking ahead? And these things about thinking ahead and being prepared, they're reflections of you as a value, your values, and you as a business, that you are the sort of people who think ahead, that are prepared. So you can save or rescue your community online by producing this great content consistently, frequently, reliably. It amazes me when a client says to me, right, one Facebook post a day, that's all we can afford. And I'm like, you can't, no, you need a minute. I mean, Mary Smith has a minimum of 5 a day. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get people up to 3 a day. 3 a day is good. We're trying to, you've got to be there and also expect that people aren't just there when you are. So you have to post at different times of day with different content. It's all on a rota, it's on a schedule, and you rota it in like a little, flowchart. So on day 1, you publish on Google Plus at 10 a.m. Day 2, you might publish on Twitter at 2 p.m. And on day 3, you might publish on Facebook at 7 p.m. And that can be the same link to the same content, just with a different introduction of the content that's going out. And that's how you rescue yourself, because you put yourself across all your platforms and you are there and you are just truthful and transparent, and you say, this is what we're doing, this is the work we're doing, this is how it's looking. I mean, I really enjoy, I read The Guardian a fair bit. Just half of it annoys me and half of it makes me giggle, and half of it, you know, I don't know, I find informative. But I share content from that with, how do you feel about this? What do you think about this? When it's relevant to businesses or business growth or entrepreneurship or women's issues, I share that on our Facebook page. That's not to do with social media. That's not to do with marketing and communications. It's to do with sharing who we are as people and what our concerns are out there in the big wide world.
Okay. And I know that for at least one of your clients, you conduct not Twitter chats, Facebook chats. So is that going to be affected by the latest algorithms of Facebook, you know, trying to reduce what appears in people's newsfeed? Or is that what you regard as good content that will escape that that culling?
Well, some of the culling, well, it's an interesting mix. So some of it will be so when we do a Facebook, for example, Snooze Shake's one of our clients. We do a chat from 8 till 9 once a month or every other week, and we have an expert come on and talk to us about something that's relevant to the community: child development, weaning, eating, potty training, you name it, anything to do with parenting, or even about you as a woman, or postnatal depression, or just finding time for yourself, or Christmas is coming. It's the equivalent online. It sometimes has descended to feeling like a lock-in in a pub, to be fair. It can be so engaging and so interesting that we go on way past 9 o'clock because we're just so busy chatting. And so that is really good content, and that will show up in people's news feeds automatically. That's fine, and that's covered. But what might not show up so easily, and as with the new change in algorithm, is what may not show up is the promotion of the event, of the chat that's coming up. We already do promoted, we already do adverts, not a boost. We already do we already do an advert using Power Editor. We will do an advert promoting the chat that's coming up for 48 hours beforehand. We'll use different images, different links, different everything, and we will schedule all that content to promote it, and we expect to pay for it. We don't expect that to be free.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you know, all this stuff that's going on about it's not fair, and small businesses can't afford Facebook ads. I know you're doing quite a lot of work around how ads are created, which is an art form in itself, I know, and the cost of them. Are they available to small businesses or not?
I'm so sorry, it froze. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was just talking about whether Facebook ads are priced out of the range of most small businesses, and whether they need an expert to create the ad, because I know that that's not something that's done easily by people who are not, you know, trained in the art of creating advertisements.
Oh, blimey. So there's two sides to this. One is that you can teach yourself an awful lot, and you've just got to be prepared to put the time and effort in. And then two, I have to make a confession that I got to a threshold of learning where I was just ready to throw my toys out of the pram recently. So I had 2 one-on-one sessions with someone called Emma Meluish. She's really, really good at Facebook, and you know, it probably cost me £100 for an hour or whatever each hour that I did, but that took my knowledge to another level. So you can get to a point where you're performing and where you're working, where the ads are doing really well. I'm looking at clicks, you know, cost per clicks of between 4 and 8 pence for clients, and that's significant because, you know, one Google pay-per-click, they'd be looking at around 50 to 60p. So 50 to 60 pence in relation to 4 to 8 pence, which one are you going to take? You're going to want to invest in. Well, that is because I've spent hours, and the team as well. We are spending a lot of time learning and teaching ourselves, and the best way to do it is by having a go and being on it constantly and monitoring it and evolving it as we go forwards. So it's not out of your reach financially, because you can do it for 4 to 8 pence a click once you get a bit of practice going. And then when you get to a point where you can't learn anymore, you could do I'm not an affiliate, by the way. You could do an Emma Mellewish course. There's all sorts of things out. Emma Mellewish's course, you know, just because I know her and I'm really liking her work. So get yourself to the next level and become even more financially efficient at it. But the thing with Facebook ads, which really interests me, is that you said you need an expert. And the big thing that I've learned from Facebook adverts recently is very similar to about the content and the reach. The adverts that work the best are the homemade adverts. They are they're not iStock photos, they're not, you know, blingy, they are proper homemade photos. And so that to me tells me that the market is still there very much for small businesses, because it means you don't need to pay an expert to do it. You've got to be prepared to put time in though, and no one likes it.
Yeah, well, that time is always an issue with a small business, especially where people are trying to do everything themselves. So let's just take that to another point about advertising, which is the targeting. So do you then rely on Facebook to get your advert in front of the right audience, or do you have to use keywords and all that kind of stuff, and target it yourself?
I'm so sorry, the screen froze again then. Please don't. I'm sorry, can you repeat that question for me?
Yeah, sure. I hope this is going to be good enough to go out. If not, we might have to do it all again another day, Liz. I was wondering about targeting the adverts and whether you rely on Facebook to target them for you, you know, giving them certain parameters, or whether it's all done because of keywords that you put in there.
I believe it's a mix. So for me, what's working for us, for our clients, is for us, for a start, we take our client the email newsletters that everyone's worked so hard on. That data can be uploaded into Facebook, and you can find your clients there, and then you're definitely advertising direct to your clients. And then what you do is you then make what's called a lookalike audience, and that takes all the demographics and all the really interesting bits of your audience and puts them onto it and creates a lookalike audience, which is similar, but you don't already know and have access to. And so you expect to pay a bit more to get those people into your community, and you advertise to them.
Okay, let's just take a couple of steps back there. So you have an email newsletter, and you've collected data on the people who sign up to that.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that you put that data into Facebook, and that's what's used to target your audience.
Yes. So I take that data, I upload my own email newsletter, I upload it into Facebook, and if you've used the same email to sign up to my newsletter as you use on Facebook, I can then advertise to you on Facebook.
Ah, okay.
So, and then from that you extrapolate. The next step that you do is you create a lookalike audience, and you can then, and Facebook then says, oh, so that person likes frozen peas, and they like being out in the garden, and they like this. Let's look for more people who like frozen peas, being out in the garden, under age 26 to 32.
Okay.
And it produces huge audience for you, so that it's not then. What I do want to be clear about though is, which one do you think costs 4 to 8 pence to get a click through from, and which one do you think costs 30 to 40p to get a click through from?
I don't understand the question.
People seem to think that if you have your newsletter of people who've already engaged with you, are you still there?
Yeah.
If you have your newsletter of people who've already engaged with you and given you their social proof, they've given you a big tick by signing up to your newsletter, it will likely cost you, you know, smaller figures, smaller amounts to be able to get the advert going where people click through from it. When you use the lookalike audience, your expectation needs to change, because this is the first time they're hearing from you, and they are the right demographic, so they're more likely than other people to click through, but it's still going to cost you more money because they're going to be new and you're going to have to work harder to get that click through from them.
Okay, right, yeah, I get that now. That's really, really useful information, Liz. Thanks very much for sharing that with us. I think there's going to be a lot of people interested in that. So when you get a sale from someone like that, do you then get, from the new audience, I mean, you then obviously do get their information, so you add that to your personal list?
No.
Just
No.
Facebook like? No?
When someone signs up to, people would need to opt into my newsletter. I wouldn't just add them just because we've had a sale from them.
Okay. But you do have the option, because you do have their details, so you can then ask them if they want to opt into your list.
Yeah, yeah. So, and the thing is, so then they move from the outer circle in a bit, don't they? You know, or they're coming down your funnel, they're coming out from the outer circle in a bit. And the interesting thing, of course, is that you can also, on Facebook, you know, rescuing your audience, or however you want to call it, you can do much more targeting, because what you can do is you can produce content. And when you click on my advert and you go to my website from Facebook, I can put a pixel in my website so that I track that you've done that. And that's another way of bringing it in again, so that when you do spend money, it's not going to need to be a lot of money. First of all, we have to accept that you're going to need to spend money. And then secondly, you have to work out how to spend as little as possible to get to your audience. And then that, use these pixels and to do things. And Facebook, you know, Facebook wants Facebook to be a social place. It's not just a place, you know, what was Thingy's book? Jab, jab, right, hook, 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 jab, right, hook, whatever it was, whoever he was. Gary Vaynerchuk. You know, I really liked that book because it was really truthful. It was saying you can't just sell to people, putting your content out there. And the same applies when you start paying for your content. When you start paying to put adverts out there, I don't think it's a good idea to just put out things that you want people to sell to. You have to put out this same mixing bowl of content if you have, when you're paying for it, of things that are engaging, that are interesting, that are opinionated. And then, of course, the big one that I've forgotten, sorry, is that you give people something that gives them the cutting edge, that puts them ahead of other people. If it's frozen peas, cleaning your oven, baby sleeping stuff, if you've got news about anything that puts them ahead of the game or will help them or put them further forward, then that's the sort of thing you want to be sharing.
I'm wondering now how you get ahead of the game if you like frozen peas.
Really? Do you want to do that? Right, frozen peas. If you sell frozen peas, you know, you're just kind of on with it, yeah. If you sell frozen peas, it's really easy to get ahead of the game, because you come up with a brand new recipe for how to use frozen peas, or how to use peas and, you know, mush them in a way so that your children won't notice that you've tried to hide them in a vegetable pasta. You know, there's all sorts of ways, things that you can do that put you ahead of the game in your own life. In my own life, you can put me ahead of the game with my frozen peas.
Okay, I've got you now. I understand. That's fantastic. I love it. Oh, just love it. Okay, so the message to people is stop moaning about Facebook, and find better ways to produce content that really engages your audience, and makes them want to be engaged with your brand the whole time and keep coming back for more, so that they actually see your posts.
Mm. And the thing is to change your mindset. Not why should we pay for this? It's why should we not be paying for this? Why shouldn't I expect to pay for this? And I think it's a reflection of. I know before we came on air, I was saying to you about this phrase that I really like this phrase, and I can't work out how to say it without using a couple of rude words, so I apologise. You know, if you are constantly looking past at the past and going, well, I used to get reach and engagement and I didn't have to pay for it, and what's going to happen in the future is just going to get worse. The one thing you are doing is straddling that river, and you are on the current. You are ruining your opportunity. See, my mum might see this. She'd tell me off for swearing. You cannot stand. You're straddling the future, and the past, and you are literally squatting on the current and not doing yourself any favours. Stop whinging. Stop moaning about it, and crack on.
Brilliant, love it. Now, the one thing I want to end on, because it's my big thing, and we've touched on it slightly, but I want to just make it perfectly clear how people do this, is, you know, Facebook could disappear. All of your likes, all of your, you know, everybody that's liked your page and your fans and all that kind of stuff could disappear, because we don't own that. The bit of real estate we do own is our own website or our blog, and particularly our newsletter sign-up box. So people who have given us permission to contact them. So what is the best way to get people from Facebook to sign up to your newsletter or to your mailing list?
You produce some quote-unquote belting content. You produce the best content ever. You put it on as your blog, and then as they click to your blog, a pop-up box appears up as they arrive or as they leave, and it says, hey, sign up to our newsletter, and here's something free that you're going to get as a thank you for signing up. Here's my PDF on 10 ways to do this, that 10 ways to use frozen peas that you've not thought about in the last 10 ways to use frozen peas that you'd not thought of already, and then it will send it to you, and that's what you do.
That's great. I love that. Absolutely love it. So let's just end by saying that if people want to find you, I'll obviously put all your details on the end of the YouTube video. But if people want to find you and engage with you, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, well, I'm on Twitter at the Liz Weston, westoncoms.com. Weston Communications had already gone, which was very annoying. Westoncoms.com, or you can email me at liz@westoncoms.com. I'm on Twitter. You can direct message me, say give me a follow if you don't want to put your email. You know, we don't put our emails out there. But I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I don't use Google Plus as much as I should.
But you are there.
I am there. And yeah, or westoncoms.com. There's all sorts of emails and phone numbers on westoncoms.com.
Okay, brilliant. Liz, it's been a joy talking to you, as always. It's never... I sometimes wonder where you get your energy from, but I guess one of these days you'll tell me. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll put this all, it'll all go out on YouTube. We'll put your contact details on there, and I'm sure you're available to answer any questions, of which I think there are probably going to be quite a few. So thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry that I didn't draw breath, and I'm sorry for the hand waving. I did try to hold some blue tack so that I tried to control myself a little bit more, but honestly, when I get going on this sort of thing, it's just, you know, it's a free-for-all. Thank you so much for having me.
That's a pleasure. Bye for now, Liz.
Bye.